afternoon, everyone. I'm Ayman Mohideen in New York. Power is slowly returning in Texas, but the crisis there is far from over at this hour. Hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses are still without light and heat after that historic winter storm. Millions.
All right, we're good to go. Hello, everyone. Oklahoma, Switzerland. What film is this?
Which is a great song.
We're just under 2 minutes from entry interface. As it gets closer to Mars, Perseverance is actually being pulled in by gravity and accelerating. By the time Perseverance reaches entry interface point, it should be going just under 5.4 kilometers per second. We're at about 90 seconds from entry interface and standing by for Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter to pick up the telemetry. The ship is now waiting until it begins feeling the atmosphere slow down. Once there is enough atmosphere, it will start controlling its path to the landing target. Navigation is also confirming that we can see a little bit of that slowdown of the atmosphere on the Perseverance entry capsule. Our current velocity is about 5.36 kilometers per second and an altitude of about 67 kilometers from the surface.
We were probably seeing MRO plasma blackout complete.
The Everest is doing its turns right now.
MRO has lost flag.
Perseverance. We have indications that Perseverance is now performing bank reversals in the atmosphere. These are the steps in order to control its distance to the landing target. Perseverance has just passed through the point of maximum deceleration and has indicated that it felt approximately 10 Earth Gs of deceleration.
MRO has locked again.
We saw a small outage of the UHF telemetry from Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter during that peak heating phase, likely caused by the plasma blackout. Perseverance is still continuing to perform bank reversals in the atmosphere to control its distance to the landing target. Perseverance is going about 1 kilometer per second at an altitude of about 16 kilometers from the surface of Mars. We have entered heading alignment, which means Perseverance is no longer trying to control the distance to Mars, but to the target on Mars, but instead is flying straight to the target. Our current velocity is about 550 meters per second at an altitude of about 15 kilometers from the surface.
Everyone's or do you include luck?
We are coming upon the we are starting to straighten up and fly right maneuver, where the spacecraft will jettison the entry balance masses in preparation for parachute deploy and to roll over to give the radar a better look at the ground. The navigation has confirmed that the parachute has deployed and we are seeing significant deceleration in the velocity. Our current velocity is 480 meters per second at an altitude of about 12 kilometers from the surface of Mars. Perseverance is now slowed to subsonic speeds and the heat shield has been separated. This allows both the radar and the cameras to get their first look at the surface. Current velocity is 145 meters per second at an altitude of about 9.5 kilometers above the surface. Touchdown confirmed. Perseverance safely on the surface of Mars, ready to begin taking the sands of top flight. At this point, the descent stage has flown away to stage distance. Perseverance is continuing to transmit direct through Mars Autonomous Orbiter to Earth.
Oh my God. Oh. No reports, they're still getting telemetry from the lander.
Find liquid water, it is teeming with life. And so they think that this would be a really good place to search for signs of ancient life if there was some on Mars.
And again, the rover there will also test certain kinds of technology on Mars. It's supposed to be on there, I think, for a couple of years. For example, a system to convert atmospheric carbon dioxide to oxygen. Walk us through what they're planning on testing and how that will help pave the way for future missions to Mars.
Right, so some of the very cool technologies that it's testing, one is a helicopter. It's carrying a helicopter on its belly. That's going to be the first powered flight on another planet, which is wild. And they're also testing another experiment called MOXIE. It's an in-situ resource utilization experiment. Basically, they're going to try to take the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and do an experiment on it to create breathable oxygen. This will be something that's incredibly useful if we ever send humans to Mars so that we can create the oxygen that we need to breathe while we're there.
And this is obviously a question that a lot of our understanding of Mars, at least, is shaped by pop culture and fiction. But one of the tools that Perseverance is equipped with is a microphone to record sound. Will sounds recorded on Mars sound different than on Earth? And what are we hoping to learn from any of these sounds that are in fact recorded on planet Mars?
Yes, this one is so exciting. So this will be the first time that we directly record sounds of Mars, and so that's a great question. Does sound sound the same on Mars? Well, it doesn't, because the air there is thinner, it's colder, and it's mostly made of carbon dioxide. So sounds there will be a little bit quieter. They won't travel as far, and they'll be low pitch. So it'll be really, really cool to, for the first time ever, actually be able to directly record the sounds of Mars.
I want to ask you about what is happening in this country juxtaposed to what we're seeing between the pandemic and the weather emergencies that we're seeing in Texas. There are folks out there who are saying, why should we be focusing our attention on Mars? Why is this mission so important when we're facing so many challenges here on Earth? And it looks like it worked, because that's the reaction of the live picture that we're getting from the Jet Propulsion Lab. So I assume the enthusiasm, the celebration confirms that it has landed on Mars successfully.
Oh my gosh, okay, so this is me just learning that it's successful too. That's really exciting. That's so these things are so hard to do. And so when they happen,
maybe MRO enhances other things at every city block. Blooming Mars, look.
Just put the first image from Perseverance on the surface of Mars. Now, it comes from the engineering cameras, known as the hazard camera. This camera is mainly used to help the rover drive safely around Mars, and we will get higher resolution photos later in the day. Our second image in. Our second image is in.
It's another blob.
Okay, these we have a camera in the front and rear of the spacecraft. They're near the ground, so these are pretty close. So you can see the wheels there, and they're a little dirty because you've got glass covers over these cameras. But we took these seconds after landing, so there's still dust in the air from our landing event. So this is happening. This happened just seconds ago. This arrived, and this is really amazing.
Any kind of earthquake that happens on Mars, and also to detect when asteroids hit the surface. And it's been listening for asteroids for a couple of years now. It hasn't heard any hit the surface. It's been looking for meteorites. And so it's going to take advantage of today's events, where a couple of weights were jettisoned off the spacecraft early in the landing and hit the ground at incredibly high speeds. And it's going to listen to see if it can hear those things hitting the surface. And so a little bit of data for...
I haven't followed much in the last 10 years. The big news is that Elon Musk does his really crazy things. I don't know names to better with Elon though. All right, that's all.